Welcome to a special edition of Hometown Journal. This week, we stay at our home plate in Millington. Goat Days is our subject this week. It's the 5th year that founder Babe Howard has hosted the event dedicated to goats held at USA Stadium. We'll see chariot races, fishing rodeos, shoot marbles with a congressman, see goat pills get flipped, and meet the new Miss Nanny. During a break in the Goat Days coverage, Wilson Wages will get you up to date about who's eligible for workman's compensation insurance. Those stories and a whole lot more about goats coming up on Hometown Journal next. USA Stadium in Millington was the site of the 5th annual International Goat Days celebration. The event officially was kicked off with Memphis businessman Silky Sullivan being named the Grand Poobah by founder Babe Howard.
Yeah. I feel like a cross between James Brown and Pee Wee Herman. Okay. Babe Howard, I'm touched at this moment. Let me dry my tears. This is truly a solemn moment, one of the greatest honors of my life to be here in Millington, Tennessee with my good friend Babe Howard, saluting goats. I want all you good people in Millington to know that about 3 years ago, I read about this festival in the Commercial Appeal. And I'd never heard of a goat festival in any other place except Ireland. And I knew it was my destiny to put these two together. So I came out to the goat festival and I met Babe. And I invited Babe to come over to Ireland and be the Grand Marshal of the Goat Festival in Killorglin, Ireland. That's in County Kerry. So Babe thought I was full of BS or GS goat manure. He didn't believe me, but I was persistent and I kept on pestering him till he decided to go. Him and his buddy Bub Cove, John Daigle, and Mr. Jerry Moore, they all go over with me. Well, when he got over, he didn't know what to think of all the great festivities, the great fun, and the ancient honoring of the goats that they do in Ireland. They made Babe the Grand Poobah of Ireland. So you can see Babe as he's dressed today. They dressed him up as a king over in Ireland, put a big sash on him called a Grand Poobah, and they had 2 Irish wolfhounds, and he led the parade of all the people over there cheering in the crowd as Babe led the goats down, the Irish wolfhounds, to crown the goat in Ireland. Well, Babe had a good time over there, and so we got a connection now between the two festivals, and maybe next year we'll bring a couple of comedians over from Ireland. So I come back, and Babe and I were doing some things downtown Memphis, and I always knew Babe loved goats, and he got me liking them a whole lot after our trip to Ireland. So I decided if the Peabody had ducks, why can't I have goats? So I decided to build them a big goat pen down on Beale Street, and I stuck 2 goats, and I kept calling Babe and Vivian, wanting to know where I could find me some goats at. Well, I got me some goats put down on Beale Street, and the health department came down, and they were raised at Cain about my goats and said they had to go. Until I asked them this question: what goes to the bathroom the most, 10 ducks at the Peabody or my goats? So therefore, we had a Mexican standoff, and I had the city council win out.
A parade marched down Goat Days Main Street, led by the Grand Poobah and the outgoing Miss Nanny, Lori Beckman. The Goat Days parade, of course, included goats. A parade has to have Boy Scouts. And then came a suspicious calliope player. We had to take a second look at that calliope on the return trip. Why that player so good? He can play it from behind the keyboard.
His
After the parade, Goat Day celebrators anxiously awaited the Miss Nanny contest. The contestants gave their best performances, trying for that coveted title. The acts included poetry.
It was the night before Goat Days, when all through the stable, only one nanny was stirring. None of the others were able. The costumes were hung by the door with curl, in hopes that Goat Days would soon be there. The kids were anxious to climb into their hay beds, while visions of Goat Days danced through their heads. And Mama Nanny in a rocker with kid in her lap was watching the stars come out while I took a nap. When out of the east there arose such a clatter, I sprang to my feet to see what was the matter. Away to the window I flew like a flash, to open the shutters to up the sash. When quickly my wondering eyes should appear, but the grand poobah proclaiming that Goat Days was here. With a smile so bright, sending forth a bright ray, I knew in a moment this must be the day. He held in his hand the book of hope, and in this book was the names of all the participating goats. He spoke not a word as he searched for my name. And when he said, "It's not here," my head hung in shame. The nannies whose names he held in his hand, he gathered together and away they ran. I fell to my knees, but it was too late. I had waited too long to practice to seal my fate. I stood and I cried as they all ran away. Oh, if only I had been ready today. The meaning of this skit is very clear. The coming of another Goat Days is getting near. And I'm gonna practice and practice till I can't practice no more. Because next year I intend to be the first nanny on the contestant floor. Next year, when the roll is called, instead of crying my eyes out, I'll be having a ball. I'm Miss Moat, and I've lost my goats, and I don't know where to find them. They read the news of the annual Goat Day reviews, so I hurried on down here to find them. I searched high and I've searched low. I've even searched over yonder at the fishing hole. I pray that they're not part of this barbecue show. Has anyone seen them? I have their pictures. Their names are Billy, Millie, and Tilly. You sure you hadn't seen them? They love to race. They love to run. They love to have just plain fun. Are you sure you hadn't seen them? You sure? Nobody's seen them. I've seen goats all dressed up in hats with fancy bows. I've seen goats all dressed up with painted toes. I've seen goats with long horns and goats with short horns. I've even seen goats with newborns. But nowhere around can my little goats be found. Where, oh where, can my little goats be? If anyone should find them, will you bring them back to me? Well, Miss Moat, you've lost your goats, and you don't know where to find them. Leave them alone, and they'll come home, dragging their prizes behind them. I see someone has found one of my goats now. I see they found Millie. I guess we've got to go look for the other two, and I sure hope they're not part of that barbecue show.
And a Miss Nanny contest wouldn't be complete without music.
Yes, I admit I got a stinking problem. It's always on my mind. My odor goes round and round. I've tried to bathe 1,000 times. Yes, I admit I got a stinking problem. Fill the toilet to the top. I start with heavy gas, but I don't know when to stop. I wake up and right away, my smell is on my mind. Once my gas starts to flow,
Baby, you're a tiger. Tigers play too rough. I don't want to be a lion, 'cause lions ain't the kind you love enough. Oh, let me be your nanny goat. Put a bell around my neck, I'll follow you anywhere. Oh, let me be your nanny goat. Don't wanna be a tiger. Stay too rough. Put your arms around me, cuddle me, reaching. Don't let it go. Tigers play too rough. I don't want to be a lion, 'cause lions ain't the kind you love enough. Oh, let me be your nanny goat. Put a bell around my neck, I'll follow you anywhere. Oh, let me be your nanny goat. Oh, let me be your nanny goat. I just want to be your nanny goat. Nah.
Lori Beckman, Miss Nanny 1993, announced the winner of the Miss Nanny contest.
I'd like to say everyone did a great job this year, and I enjoyed the show. Wish we could have 4 winners, but as you know, we are going to have 4 winners, but we can't have 4 first-place winners. And would our first-place winner please come up, Miss Barbara Parsons? Get this. I get to... Hold this for just a minute.
Okay, we got a little formalities here to take care of, so just bear with us a few minutes. Barbara, you are the 1994 Miss Nanny of Millington, Tennessee. And handle all this, and if you'll step forward, and we proclaim the 1994 Miss Nanny.
Well, now you know who the Miss Nanny is for this year. We'll take a break from the Goat Days festivities for a word from our sponsors. And Wilson Wages has some information about workmen's compensation for you in legal matters. The special Goat Days edition of Hometown Journal will continue in just a moment.
Hometown Journal. If you know of something happening in the community, or if you have a videotape of an interesting event, Hometown Journal would like to know about it for upcoming shows. Contact Community TV at 873-1622. If you're interested in advertising, we've developed several innovative advertising packages designed to be affordable for small businesses. If you'd like to know more, call Julie Armitage at 872-6440. Hometown Journal, here to serve the communities in the Millington Cable TV viewing area.
Saturday is when the Goat Days celebration really got going. One of the first events was the pill flip. The pill flip contest has perfectly sane people, for some reason, flipping goat pills. That is, trying to throw painted goat dung the furthest, staying within a roped-off area. There were comers of all ages and various forms of encouragement, and try they did to throw the elusive pill the furthest. An old-fashioned game of marbles was another contest. Congressman John Tanner heard the rules at an early match on Friday.
And then the object is knock them out of this big circle, right?
Right.
Just like last year, right through the whole deal.
The congressman, inexperienced in the fine art of marbles, tried his best. But Saturday morning, it was serious business as the contest got underway. Meanwhile, in the kiddie park, kids got their chance to show off their strength. Goat Days wasn't without its important visitors. Congressman John Tanner visited Friday and bought the first batch of homemade cornmeal made by the grist mill sponsored by the Millington Fire Department. Proceeds go to the Firemen's Burn Center in Memphis. And the congressman got a chance to ride behind a goat. And what's a politician without a little handshaking at an important event? Event founder Babe Howard expressed his appreciation to Congressman Tanner for his past support of the event.
Since you
taken part in our goat festival 2 years straight, supported it. We want you to have a T-shirt take back with you.
Well, Mr. Howard, thank you. I certainly will.
And we appreciate all your support that you've given us.
Well, as I told some folks earlier, this facility here in Millington is one of the finest, if not the finest, communities, city parks, places to gather and have some fun, family fun that I know of anywhere in the state of Tennessee, maybe in the whole Mid-South.
Saturday, representatives from Senator Jim Sasser's campaign visited the event. Senator Sasser's mother and daughter met event attendees and tried some of Millington's best corn fritters. Senator Jim Cooper's wife attended and got to talk with people. And she got a close-up view of a goat chariot race with Goat Day's founder, Babe Howard. For those who have never seen one, a goat chariot race appears to be a simple event. You line up the goats, pulling a chariot and a rider. You tell them to go, and 1 lap later, you have a winner. Well, it seems simple, but the goats have their say too. Take this heat race, for example. The starter starts the race, but the goats don't necessarily listen. It's mass confusion at the start, with giddy up, no, the word of the moment. But finally, a leader breaks out. Meanwhile, back at the starting line, confusion still prevails. Our leader is halfway around the track, but one goat prefers the shorter route to the finish line. The leader nears the finish line, and all looks good until the leading goat has second thoughts about crossing that finish line. Then, coming from a lap behind, comes a goat with a determined gait. Persistence pays off, and an unexpected winner takes the prize. Meanwhile, the early leader takes second place. In another contest, contestants compete for the largest goat title.
We measure the height at the shoulder, then we measure the length from the fingernail to the brisket, and then we measure the girth around just behind the front legs.
No Goat Day celebration would be complete without finding the goat with the longest horns. Goats dressed out in their best outfits compete for the best dressed goat. The costumes were wild and outlandish. Over at the lake, the junior fishing rodeo got underway. Kids of all ages cast into the Wellstock Lake at USA Stadium. No matter what the size, the kids were proud of their catches. The fishing rodeo was a great event for family togetherness. Dad teaches his son how to bait the hook. Young Ron Butler casts into the lake, trying for a winner. He catches one, and Mom Whitley Butler gets to take the fish for weighing in by default.
All right, and we got a catfish here. He's going to have to get in the middle and be still. He's 1 pound.
Okay. Well, okay. How much does it weigh?
1 pound even. Right on the money. What's the number?
Number 70, I believe.
What's the name?
Ron Butler.
Yeah. That's it, done. You. 21 pounds. Yeah. Are you out now?
Put him back. What's the biggest fish you've seen today?
20 pounds, 4 ounces.
What was it?
Chinese carp.
Meanwhile, back inside the stadium, another chariot race is finishing. This finish is a bit more exciting, with first, second, and third only seconds apart. Then it's time for the dairy goats to show their stuff. Milkers see how much milk they can squirt into a pail in 30 seconds. The milker with the most milk wins.
Number 62.
Foamy, foamy, foamy.
Over at the main stage, the whistling contest is underway. Lips pucker as beautiful music is made. The kids enjoyed trying not to spill the milk while hurrying through an obstacle course in the milk run late in the afternoon.
Step across.
Hurry up, 25 seconds, 25 seconds.
Yeah, you are.
Then it was time for the senior goat race, a bit more compelling. You're guaranteed a messy event when you get kids lobbing eggs to one another. The junior egg toss was no exception. Across the lake, a high school rodeo was in full swing with calf roping and bronc busting. And what about the Goat Days tie-in? Why, goat roping, of course.
What this cowgirl, Christy Scott. Christy has a time of 14.002. 14.002. Ain't bad for a Mumford cowgirl.
All in all, Goat Days lived up to its goal of providing a fun-filled day for families. We weren't able to bring you all of the events because so many things were happening at the same time. Other events included horseshoes, the Dutch oven contest, the barbecue contest, as well as the 5K run. And don't forget, if you have any suggestions for stories or events happening in the near future, give me a call so we can schedule coverage. That's Bob Kiser at 873-1622. 873-1622. We'll see you next time on Millington Cable TV Channel 11 or on the streets of your hometown. And thanks for watching Hometown Journal.